Hello YouTube and welcome to another Juniper tutorial. So in this video I'm going to show you how to configure OSPF on the MX Juniper router. So are you ready? Let's get started. So as you have seen on my last video, I showed you how to configure static routing in order to allow this PC1 to ping PC2 which is in different subnet, okay? So actually we have configured static route on this MX01 router, and also the same thing happened on the MX02. But that was pretty easy. But imagine that you have 100 or 1000 of routers, so you are not going to actually manually configure static routing for each Juniper MX router. You use rather actually dynamic routing protocols, okay? So here we're gonna actually configure OSPF, which is a very famous routing protocol, and also it's an open standard, so you can find it in different also brand routers like Cisco or HP or something like that. So it's an open source standard, okay? And you will see how easy it is to configure that on OSPF, or actually on the Juniper MX routers, okay? So first of all, let me make sure that we have configured everything. So I'll bring here my console here. So here on the PC1, if I do show IP, you can see that I have configured IP address as 10.225.51.10.2, okay? And also I have configured its gateway as the interface Giga Ethernet 0001 on the MX01 router, okay? And let's move on to the PC number 2. I will do the same. So here I configured it with different subnet 172.16.0.2, okay? And also I have configured its gateway as the interface of MX02, which is Giga Ethernet 001, which will be actually its IP address as 172.16.001, okay? So as I told you here, I'm not going to talk about the details about the theory about OSPF, because you will find a lot of videos on the internet if you want to go or to actually go deeper and deeper into this protocol and how it uses actually the algorithm that uses this protocol, okay? But here we're gonna just configure the basic thing. So actually this PC1 can reach the subnet of PC2 via the exchange of routing tables between these two Juniper MX actually routers, okay? So first of all, let me make sure that the PC1 cannot ping PC2. So here I'm on PC1, and I will ping the IP address of PC2, which is .16.0.2. So you can see here PC1 can ping its gateway, which has the IP address of 10.251.10.1, but beyond that it cannot reach actually the other subnet. So here you can see the message destination network unreachable, because it has no route for this subnet here 172.16.0.2, okay? And we can confirm actually that if we go actually to MX01, and let me here show you the routing table on this router. So I will do here simple command show route to see its routing table. So here you can see that they have no route actually to this 172.16.0.0/24 subnet. All what we have here is the local connected subnet, which are actually this subnet here 10.251.10.0/24 and the other subnet which is connected directly to the MX01, which is 192.168.0.0/24. okay, so here we have no route to the other subnet. Okay, so we're gonna actually configure OSPF on both of this router so they can exchange its routing table. And here, because MX1 is directly connected to this subnet here, 172.16.0.0, it can actually push its routing table to MX1, and then MX1 actually knows about this subnet, so PC1 can reach PC2. Okay, so let's configure OSPF on MX1. So you will see it's pretty easy to configure that. So the command is, for example, or not for example, we should actually or must go to the configuration mode. So here we are in the operation mode of Juniper, so we go to the config mode. Here we go. So now in order to configure OSPF, we set protocol, and of course the protocol will be OSPF. Okay, then as you may know, actually OSPF uses what we call areas. So for OSPF area here, I will choose very famous one, 0.0.0. So actually here for Juniper it needs 32 bits area decimal, so that's what we actually put here, 0.0.0.0, but you can put whatever you want, but it must be in the same area where MX02 actually is also in. Okay, then you may also know that in order to configure OSPF on Juniper routers, you configure OSPF on in each interfaces. So we have to configure it on interface 0001 and also on the other interface 000. Okay, so then we have to specify, as I told you, an interface. So here we'll put the interfaces facing the PC1, which is 0001, and also it must be a logical one. That's why we add .0. Okay, so we have here configured OSPF on this interface facing the PC. We must also configure the interface facing the other MX router. Okay, so I will go up and I will here change one by 0 in order to configure OSPF on the other interface in actually facing the MX02. And you can see that's it, we have finished our configuration. So all I have to do now is to commit and quit. Okay, so now the commit has been completed and we return back to our operational mode. Okay, so I have to do the same thing on the other MX2 Juniper router in order for the two routers to become neighbors, or what we call neighbor adjacencies, so they can exchange their routing table. Okay, so PC2 can also reach PC1. So let's go to MX02. Okay, and here I'm already on the config mode. Okay, so let's configure OSPF. So as I told you, the command is pretty straightforward. Set protocols, and protocol is OSPF, and area is also 0.0.0. And finally we have to specify the interfaces. So we'll configure first the interface facing the other MX01 router, which is giga 0.0.0, and remember it must be a logical interface, that's why we add .0. Okay, here we go, and we configure the other interface facing this time PC2, which is 0.0 or actually 001.0. Okay, so we are finished configuring OSPF on both routers. So let me commit and exit. or actually quit in order to return to operational mode. Okay, so now we have actually to check if everything is okay. So let's go back to MX01, and first of all let me show you if you want to know, as I told you, OSPF is actually configured on each interface. So let's verify that with the command show OSPF interface. Here we go, and here we see the both interfaces where actually we have configured our OSPF. So you can see here 00001, or actually 000.0 and 00.1. okay, so actually everything is okay. Now we can also see if we indeed have what we call a neighbor adjacency with this MX02 using the command show OSPF, but instead of interface I will just enter here neighbor, and indeed we have the IP address of our next router. Here we are in MX01, so this is the interface of MX02, okay, which has as an IP address 192.168.0.2. okay, and here we have the full state, which means that actually the two routers has become neighbors adjacencies. Okay, so they have actually exchanged their routing table. But the most important command that we can actually input in order to see if PC1 can reach actually PC2 is that we must have now a route in our MX01 that tells actually PC1 to reach the other subnet, which is 172.16.0. so let's show the routes, and here we go. Indeed, you can see here that we have a route to the other subnet, which is 172.16.0.0, and this route is actually brought by the OSPF dynamic protocol, as you can see here. Okay, so now both actually Juniper routers has exchanged their routing table. So let's go to MX01 and see if indeed also PC2 can reach the other subnet, which means that it's in a routing table. It must have a route to the other subnet, which is 10.251.10.0. so let's go to MX02 and do the same thing with show route, and indeed you can see the first actually entry is an OSPF entry to the other subnet, which is 10.251.10.0. okay, so now both PCs can communicate with each other. So let's verify that with the ping. So remember, before configuring OSPF we didn't have reachability to the other subnet. So now let's try it once again, and you can see now it can reach the other PC, which is in the other subnet. So we have successfully configured OSPF on both Juniper MX router. Okay, so you can see how easy it is to configure OSPF on this Juniper routers. So that was just a brief video to show you how to configure OSPF on both Juniper MX routers. As always, I hope that has been informative for you, and I want to thank you for viewing. Bye bye.